All right, we are back. This is Techmath1. We're looking at the review for chapter 13, 14. So all of these were graph and find the point of intersection. I kind of walked you through that already on the calculator. I'll walk you through it again on number 10. But really, the hard part of these is getting them solved out for y. So this one, we subtract 5x from both sides. Number 7, you get y equals negative 5x plus 11. All right. And then that's this steep line there. This one, you subtract 3x from both sides. You cannot put it with the 4, so it's negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 4, because that has an x on it, and that doesn't. And then you divide everything by negative 2. And so y is equal to 3 halves x, or 1.5x, if you'd like, minus 2. It's probably easier to enter it into your calculator as 1.5, a decimal rather than a fraction. If you want to use the fraction, you go 3x and then hit the divided by sign and then 2. And it'll go 3x over 2, and that would be the same. Make sure not to write 3 over 2x. If you put the x on the bottom, you're not going to get the right graph. All right, so this is a line, this is a line, and you graph that line. That starts at negative 2 up 3 over 2, and they cross just above the x-axis, it looks like. And so then you find it at 2, 1. That is the point of intersection. The calculator does the work. Same thing, same dog, different fleas here. Negative 5x, you got negative 2y equals negative 5x plus 4. You divide everything by negative 2. So again, if you want, you can write this as y is equal to, instead of 5 halves, you can say that's 2.5 x minus 2. So you graph that, negative 2, and it goes up. This one, you subtract 2x. You have 8y equals negative 2x minus 5. You divide everything by 8. Again, if you want to take negative 2 divided by 8, that'll go in as a negative 0.25x and negative 5/8. All right, and so you graph that. That's just a scooch over 0, and then when you graph it, it finds that point of intersection to be 0.5 comma negative 0.75. All right, so for number 8. Number 9, I hate it when they get cute with the A and the B, because now we have to say this is the A axis and this is the B axis, instead of just using X and Y. If they want me to graph it, I'd appreciate if they'd always just use X and Y. So I'm not a big fan of A's and B's. If it confuses you, just make them X's and Y's. Because we're going to still put in y equals negative 6x minus 2. That's what you're entering into your calculator. So that's this very steep line going through at negative 2. And then this one, minus 4a. And then divide everything by negative 3. So minus 4a plus 17 divided by negative 3. So b is equal to 4/3 a minus 17/3. That's kind of a weird one too. So that's down here. And goes like that. And then you find intersect. And when you hit enter 3 times, you get 0.5 comma negative 5. So that is the point of intersection for that one. Negative 3x. Ooh, careful on this. It's negative y equals negative 3x minus 8. So we divide everything by negative 1. So that is y is equal to 3x plus 8. That's one of your lines. And then the other line, minus 5x. And 2y is equal to negative 5x minus 8. And then divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So the other line is y equals negative 2.5x minus 4. And this one I'll show you on the calculator because this one is going to be an ugly decimal that we have to round to hundredths place. Drop my pen cap. So let me show you how to do that on the calculator. So here we are. You hit y equals, and here, let me clear out. If you just hit clear, it'll clear those away. All right, so here we are. 3, the number 3, and then x is right there. So 3x plus 8, and then you hit enter. It drops you down to the next line. And then negative 2.5x minus 4. And then hit graph. And so there are lines. I don't have them up on the board yet. All right. But now you want it to calculate the point of intersection. So calculate is in the little yellow guy right there. So you hit second, that's yellow, and now all these buttons are the yellow things. So calculate, and then you click it down. These are the up-down buttons. You click down until you get intersect. And then you hit enter. Now it's going to ask questions because you could have up to 10 curves or lines on this. So it says, hey, is this the first curve? And since you only have 2, you just hit enter. And then it says, is that the second curve? You just hit enter. And it says, take a guess. And if you don't want to play, just hit enter again. And then it'll give you the answer. So it is negative 2.18 and positive 1.45. So those are my answers. Negative 2.18, comma 1.45. And their lines are up there. X marks the spot right there. All right. Okay, lovely. Let's look at number 11. They want me to use a matrix. If you're looking at my work, if you look at the book explains it using a matrix that you could basically do matrices by hand, way back in the day when you could do them by hand. And so the computer or the calculator, your TI-83, 84 calculators, they do these matrices with so much less work. So I did work out on the notes like a Kramer's Rule 1, just so you'd be aware that there is a way to do it sort of by hand. It's very tedious. And so since we have these very expensive calculators, I want you to use them and let it do all of the heavy lifting on these. All right, so now 11. It's a linear equation, except they want us to do a matrix, so we want x, y, and equals a number. And so what we're going to do, it's called an augmented matrix. I'll explain in a minute. So first, we get x and y on the same side, like it's an addition problem, like how we did the addition problems. All right, so this one is all messed up too. So I got to move the 4y over to this side, and I got to move the 14 over to the other side. And so I end up with those 4y's canceling, those 14's canceling. So I have 2x minus 4y equals positive 14. All right? So just like how we had to get them arranged when we were doing the addition method. But instead of figuring out what to multiply by, like getting a 10 and a negative 10 and adding straight down, we don't have to do any of that. What we're going to do is we're going to strip away the coefficients. The coefficients is a fancy word for the number in front of the variables, all right? And so I'm going to make a matrix with just the coefficients. 5, 3, and 9, that's the first row. 2, negative 4, and 14, that's the second row. And now what I'm describing in this explanation is an augmented matrix. That means you put the variable matrix here, but you also put the answer matrix in the same, all in the same matrix. all right? And now what we're gonna do, it's called reduced row echelon form, RREF. That's gonna become your best friend because it does all of this work, all of this screwing around that we did before. You just get it entered into a matrix, you hit reduced row echelon form of that matrix, and it'll kick out this answer that looks like this: 1, 0, answer for X, 0, 1, answer for Y. It'll do it instantaneously, all right? So let me show you how to get these into your calculator. So we are out of graphing, we're back to the home screen. You hit second, and then there's a matrix button. It's the X to the -1 button. In yellow, it says matrix. So you hit that, and now look, I've got some matrices in here. Let me clear these out. Yeah, I'm not sure how to clear them. Okay, so anyway, second matrix, and now you right click until it says edit on the top. And then you hit enter. And now it's rows and columns. So look, I have right now a 2 by 3. If I would have had a 4 by 5, see all the stuff that's there? There's 4 rows and 5 columns. I don't want that. We're going to go back to a 2 by 3. So that is 2 rows, 3 columns. Hit enter. And now it puts us on the first thing. We want a 5. So I hit 5 and then enter. And then it clicks you to the right. And then I want a 3, enter, 9, enter. And when you're done with that, it pops you down to the second row. So 2, enter, -4, enter, 14, enter. Make sure you use the negative button on the bottom and not the minus button when you're doing the -4, okay? Okay, so we got our matrix in there. Now you go, okay, second, quit. So you're back to the home screen. Now, second matrix, and this time we want it to calculate or do math, so do math, and then go down, 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 down. It's a long way down until you see reduced row echelon form. All right, RF, and then hit enter. It pops you back to the home screen and it says RF of what? And so now you're going to do second matrix again, and I put it in matrix A. So I'm just going to hit enter. It's highlighted on A. So look, it says reduced row echelon form of A, and then you just hit enter. And there's the answers, 3 and -2. And I know that seemed like a lot, but after you get the hang of this, it goes really quick. You know, where you just start putting these into the matrices and then kicking out your answer. So the result is X is equal to 3 and Y is equal to -2. So we basically found where this line crosses this line, again without graphing, but just by using a matrix. So they cross at 3, -2. That is the point of intersection. All right. And so that is how all of these matrices kind of work out. Let's look at 12 and 13 and 14 and 15. All of those you can use a matrix over and over and over again. So you don't have to do the addition method or the substitution method. You can just use a matrix with reduced row echelon form. So look at number 12. X plus Y plus Z equals 4. X minus 2Y minus Z equals 1. 2X minus Y minus 2Z equals -1. And what we're going to do is the reduced row echelon form, our ref, of 1, 1, 1, 4. 1, -2, -1, 1, 2, -1, -2, -1. So you put it in as a 3x4 matrix. You follow the same sequence that I did. You do reduced row echelon form. You hit matrix A, hit enter, and now it kicks out this 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. That's called the identity matrix. And 2 -1 3. So what does that mean? That means x is equal to, this is the x position, this is the y position, this is the z position. So x, 1x plus 0y plus 0z equals 2. So just x equals 2, y equals -1, z equals 3. Just like that. 13, same dog, different fleas. So be careful with the ones. Remember, when it's just a letter, just a variable, it's a 1. It's 1x, 1y, 1z. I've had students put the ones in there to help them see it. That's fine. Just don't put zeros. That's the most common error I've seen. So 6, -1, 4, 2, 2, -3, -1, 3, 1, 1, 1, -5. So we put in all of those into our matrix. Reduced row echelon form, hit enter, you get 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, and we end up with -4.9090. We end up with -6.3636, and we end up with 6.2727, and so on. So that's our matrix. And so what does that mean? That means x is equal to -4.91, y is equal to -6.36, and z is equal to 6.27. Just like that. 1, 2, 3. So here, 14, I'll do on the board. I'll do it up on the board, and I'll walk you through the calculator one more time for 14. So we have x minus 2i equals -2. We have -7y plus z equals 0. And we got 3x plus 5y minus 4z equals 9. This is going to take a little doing because now look, they didn't list all the variables. So we have to get our ducks in a row here. 1x minus 2y plus 0z equals -2. That's my first row. 1, -2, 0, -2. Next row, 0x minus 7y plus 1z equals 0. Last row, they got everything, 3x plus 5y minus 4z equals 9. All right. So here is our augmented matrix. It is 1, -2, 0, -2, 0, -7, 1, 0, and 3, 5, -4, 9. And we're going to do the reduced row echelon form of that and get 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, and kick out the answers here. And those are going to be kind of ugly answers also. I'll put them down, but I'll walk you through the sequence on that one more time, just so you see it one more time on the calculator sequence. -0.88235, -6.1764. Okay, and they want 2 decimal places, so x is equal to -3.76, y is equal to -0.88, and z is equal to -6.18. And here, let me walk you through the sequence on this one more time on the calculator. Here goes. So we are on the home screen. We hit second, matrix. And now we're going to go to edit. So I clicked twice on the right until it said edit on the top. You do A, B, C. You can save them all in different letters if you want. I just usually stick with A and then hit enter. And now I need a different size matrix because this was a 2x3, but now it's a 3 rows, enter, and 4 columns, enter. Now, if you're worried about that, you're like, oh no, what if I get the 4 and the 3 mixed up? You'll know because it won't look right. It should look like, you know, what it's supposed to look like a 3x4. All right. So now we're going to put in the numbers. Here comes the entries. 1, enter, -2, enter, 0, enter, -2, enter. All right. I'm just keying it in and hitting enter, and it's just moving it as we go. 0, enter, -7, enter, 1, enter, 0, enter, 3, enter, 5, enter, -4, enter, 9, enter. Be very careful when you're doing this. You might want to click through it and just double check because this is going to be a real hard mistake to pick up if you put in the wrong number on a matrix. All right. Then you hit second, quit. So second in mode, that's quit. Now we go second matrix. We want to do reduced row echelon form. So we go to math and go down until you see RF, you hit enter. And then second matrix, and it's under A, enter. And then just hit enter. And there's our answer. It does all that work. If you remember what we did one on the first page where we did it with the addition method where we got rid of the X's and then we had just Y's and Z's, and then we got rid of one of the Z's and we had Y, and then after we took Y, we put it back in, and then we took Y and Z and put it back in. This is a little tedious, but it's a lot easier than that. So that is definitely the way to go with these problems with ordered triples.